said, I'm me, there's no one like me. Trying, deep down you trying. What's up, what's up, what's up? It's Paris Hart and Jason Williams coming at you live for another episode of the Love of It podcast. Today we have a really unique artist. From her lyrics to her melodies, she bleeds emotion onto her music. Today we have Tallulah.
Wow, thank you for this introduction.
Time. So what was it like getting into music from square one when you're a little kid, when you're just thinking, okay, I want to be a musician? What was the first step in that?
So I think, so my mom, she was a singer and she was pregnant on stage, like 8 months. I was like in her belly singing with her on stage. So before coming to this world, I actually always knew that I'm going to be a singer because I always sing. Like since I was 3 years old, I always sing, you know? So it was like kind of something like just natural for me to sing, like, you know, and I always wanted to, you know, be on stage, have a mic to sing and everything. And the first time I sing on stage, I was like 8 years old, maybe. It was in the birthday party, and they were a little stage and the mic, and I was like, oh, I want to go there, I want to go there, I want to sing. And yeah, I mean, I always sing, and I always knew, actually, even when I was at school, I always knew that I want to be a singer in the future. And you know, people may laugh at me, you know, like, you're not gonna be a singer, blah blah blah. And I was like, you will see, I'm gonna be a singer. I was like, so I knew. So yeah.
And then from there to actually doing it, you know, it's your job, it's your career, it's your full-time thing. Like, how is that kind of switch going from, okay, like now I want to do it, to, okay, now I am doing it? What was that like for you?
So basically, I started to sing at some bars, some open mic, jam session, things like that in Paris, because I grew up in Paris. And when I was 19, I met a manager. And at that moment, that was the first time that, like, for me, it was the opportunity to be a singer, and like as a job, you know. And yeah, I started to sing professionally from that age, 19. I always sang in English since I was young, but the thing is, when I met her, she was like, oh, you should sing in French, because, you know, you grew up in Paris and I think it's gonna be amazing. And I'm like, okay, why not? But I mean, for me, it was not really natural for me to sing in French. Even if I grew up in Paris, I was like, first of all, my parents didn't speak French at home. They spoke Hebrew. So I grew up with like two languages, French and Hebrew.
Yeah.
But I think I always choose English because of the music that I heard, you know. And then yeah, I started to sing in French, and I started to release albums, signed to big major label in Paris. And yeah, I released 4 albums in French, actually. And I had a big success in France. But now it's been like 2 years that I'm independent, and I wanted just to bring my soul back to life, and just sing in English as I always wanted to.
Yeah, you have some big waves over in Paris. We were looking over the discography. It's a big jump. And you know what? It's funny. People will say like, oh, like you have to find yourself to like make good music. But it was like when you were making the music, that's when you found yourself. So it's kind of like, oh, I don't want to do this that I'm doing, even though, you know, I was trained to do this. Now I know who I am. And like walking away from that, like what was that decision kind of like for you and your team?
I always knew in my heart that I want to do my project in English, and I always like put aside that idea. And I always felt that I'm doing things for others all the time, never listen to myself. So I always felt that in my soul I was not happy, but I was happy to give. I was happy to give love to people. I was happy to spread message, because in my songs in French, that was very pop music and everything, but the message was always positive. and I always felt very connected to the message. So that was the only thing that I was like felt connected with. And I think that's why I kept going, even if I, in my heart felt not that happy. But I just tried to find a way to be happy, and the fact that I just saw a lot of people became happy because of my music, because of the message. And when you're on stage and you see people are like crying of happiness, and it's an amazing sensation.
During that time when you were just working, and you kind of felt that way, what were some of the ways that you cooled off of music and you're like, okay, I'm going to take a break from music and focus on myself? Because during that time, some mental health, some physical health breaks have to be taken. So what was some of the things you did for that?
It takes time. It took time, actually, because I was like working, and I didn't have the time to like just rest and listen to myself and listen to my mental health and everything. I was like, touring, promoting, create albums and blah, blah, blah. But then after released 4 albums, after touring and everything, I was like, okay, now I need to find the time for myself. I was very, very tired. And my contract with my ex-record was finished. And I didn't want to continue because I really, really wanted to be independent and, to doing my things. That was like 2 years ago, almost 3 years. And at that time, I was like, okay, now I'm independent. Now I'm free. Now I can do whatever I want. Now I can take time for myself. And I started to write my songs. And that was like the first song that I wrote. That was Find My Way. So it's in my EP. And yeah, it just came naturally. I was just with my guitar in my room, and I was like searching myself. Like, I didn't know who I am anymore. I felt that I gave so much and like did a lot of sacrifice, compromises, and who you are anymore at that time. And yeah, that was a process.
There's definitely that balance of loving and giving it's something that I feel like even I'm personally struggling with, like myself, because I enjoy helping people. I enjoy, especially if I'm helping people in like the things that I'm good at. I'm helping people with what I'm passionate with. It's like, yes, I'm passionate with it, but it's not just a tool that's there for me to help with. Like, it's not a hammer, right? It's something that I love. It's something that I enjoy. So it's something that I have to learn how to balance. Like, I'm balancing, okay, giving, I'm balancing it and receiving. And for me, it was a lot like, okay, I just talked with my friend the other day, and she was telling me like I can feel like I'm worthy of helping myself. Like, it was like, okay, all the love I'm giving out, do I feel that coming in? And no, I don't feel it coming in. Okay, do I give it to myself? And in your music, it's definitely like, I don't want to say like morning music, but like I like to listen to it like when I woke up, when I wake up, and it's just like I feel like light. I like not light like weight, but light like the brightness. I feel very light. really, really good music. And I think, well, one of my favorites was definitely keep on trying.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, this project was very, very personal and very, I just needed to, express myself about that, because especially for the people that knew me before. And that's why the name of the EP is The Evolution of Tallulah. People that don't know me, they're like, the evolution of Tallulah, but okay, but what was before? Why the evolution? You know what I mean? And yeah, that was like necessary, I think, for me. And I'm very happy that helps and give lights to people to just find themselves and to like, not reacting with the fear, because the fear is like sometimes something that can stop you and can like can be an obstacles, sometimes. I'm very happy that you like keep on trying. That's cool.
The album dropped the last December for our listeners out there. The Evolution of Tallulah dropped December 17th. It's a great EP. And really, what was your creative process like getting into the album or getting into the EP? And for the beat choice, for the word choice, what were you really feeling when you were writing it?
The first song that I wrote was Find My Way. And then actually I wanted to keep the order of the songs, because that's actually the evolution. So you start with Find My Way, that talk about the doubt that you have with yourself, and when you feel very, very lost, you don't know who you are and everything. And then you have the process of how you find your way, actually. And so that's why I keep on trying, because I keep on trying. On my road, I can see some obstacle, but I'm like, keep on trying, whatever happens, in my life. And yeah, and I finished the EP with Ready for This Moment. It's like, okay, now that I understand my feelings, the fears, the obstacles, the anxiety and everything, now I understand how I can manage them. And now I'm ready to receive whatever.
Hey, and your visuals are so dope. Quick Fix Love, the video was amazing. What was it like making that?
So I always wanted to do like a music video, because that was tough, because I'm independent, so I need to pay with my money, all the production, to find the right people that I want for my visual and everything. So it was a tough work, but I really wanted to do a music video, especially for this one, Quick Fix Love, because I had that ideas in my head, and I just wanted to realize that. So yeah, I wanted to do like a one-shot video. That was very, very hard to do, because you need to like rehearsal a lot, to have something like, just one shot. So you can't do mistakes, you know what I mean? So yeah, one shot video, and I really, really want to shoot on film, and that was tough too, because it's very expensive, so to do a music video on film. But I found the right people, very, very talented, very humble, and very generous. And yeah, I think I had the chance to work with them, because it's actually they're a big production of music video, and I just talk about my ideas, and they're like, okay, we really love the song, we really love your project, and we want to help you. And that was a good thing for me at that time. And yeah, I just wanted to bring some movement with the body, to shows in Quick Fix Love, I'm talking about the people that I was dependent on, like it can be in a relationship, it can be in your family, it can be people that you work with. You always find someone, sometimes in life you can find this type of people that can be toxic for you, and they take all your energy, and sometimes they make you feel that you are the crazy one, and that's why I wanted to have dancers in this music video, and to have some movement that reflects the pressure that you can feel sometimes with that kind of people in your life, So yeah, I'm very happy for this music video, and yeah.
Yes. Speaking of, well, your project was called The Evolution of Tallulah, right? And when evolution comes into play, one thing is changing into another. What's one thing that you feel like you changed from? Like, okay, like that was old Tallulah. Like, what's one thing, like you're looking back and say, that's not me no more?
Ooh, that's a deep question. I think that the fact that I always do for others and never for myself. I just said there's balance to find when you give and when you receive, and when you think for yourself, not be selfish, but you know what I mean? Like find the balance between how I can be selfish without being selfish, you know?
It's like, how do I consider myself without, without ignoring everybody else?
Exactly. And I think, yeah, when I see myself 10 years ago, for example, I was like literally forget myself for others. And today I learn how to be connected with your feelings without putting aside the people that you love or that you're surrounded by, you know?
Well, how do you go into choosing, okay, this is going to be my group of friends, this is going to be my support system, because that plays a huge part in making sure that not only you are well, but the environment you're in as well.
I'm a spiritual person, and I think that sometimes you can feel it, this type of people, especially when you had the experience before with this kind of people. You know today that you know how to recognize that type of person, I think. But yeah, it sometimes it's very hard to trust someone when you had bad experiences before, you know, with people in the music industry. But yeah, I mean, it's very hard. It's very hard to. I think it's very hard to really know. You're never sure, but I trust. I trust the process. I trust I trust life in general. I trust what comings in my life today. And I think the fact that I have, you know, I think it's about energy. When you have a good energy, you just bring unconsciously good energies in your life. I'm a believer.
No, I think that's a very good like belief to have, because you said yourself that you're spiritual, and I know for me, I'm also a person very spiritual too. So whatever is spiritual also has to be physical, right? So like if you're getting good energy off of somebody, like it's something physical that they're that they're giving off, whether it's like a like tone their voice, or way that they carry themselves, and it's like maybe we don't recognize it like physically, but like you said, like I'm big on energy. Like good energy recognizes good energy, and good energy also recognizes not good energy. So it's
Exactly.
like, if it's not familiar, it's like, okay, there must be some reason why it doesn't feel familiar. We want to make sure that when people look at us, they see us. They don't see the things that the people that we work with, so they don't see the all the fluff.
And it's kind of hard with social media and in the music industry, because most people that you meet are really like, okay, it's about money, it's about advancing, it's about doing this and that, and it really turns into what I've experienced from majors is it seems like you said, you kind of lose yourself, and it becomes someone else's vision or someone else's dream of saying, this is what I think you should do, and this worked one time, so we're going to keep doing it until it doesn't work. And it doesn't matter what other people say is successful. And I mean, I have so many friends that are like, just independence the way to go for that reason, because you're so free. Music is fun again, and you get to say what you want, you get to make music that you want, and the beats, you get to choose them, and it's more healing that way. And I think that's good for the spiritual soul too. Actually, reading up on you, you have a lot of culture. Being from Paris, the background you have, being London based now, bringing all those cultures together, how has that impacted your music?
So I was born in Israel. I grew up in Paris with parents that don't speak French. So I learned French at school, but then when I came back home, nobody speak French. I speak Hebrew. I have an aunt. She's in Miami speaking English. We had someone at home, like a nanny, you say, that sometimes come, because my mom, she was like a singer. So sometimes she was touring and everything. And we had a Philippine woman in the house speaking English with us. So I grew up with very, very different cultures, because first, like the French culture and the Hebrew culture is like super opposite culture. Like the mentality is very different. Everything, and I came from a family that are very, very open-minded to the world, are very like, we always felt like we're just human, and we don't feel that we are different from others. We always, so when I was young, for example, my friends, when they came at home, they're like, oh, we love coming in your house. It's so welcoming. And, you know, my mom, she always like very super cool mom and super chill. And I always had a lot of different friends, like different cultures, different mentality even. And yeah, I think I always felt that I'm like just citizen of the world, you know, like, and yeah, you know, I don't feel like just French or Israeli or, you know. So yeah, I'm very happy to be in London actually, because in London you can feel that you have all these cultures together, especially in the music here. When I go to jam sessions, sometimes I go in a lot of places, super cool places with a lot of artists, and we jam until 4 a.m., you know, and you can meet a lot of different cultures. It's just, you know, it's rich in love, rich in peace, and rich in like, you know, I really love that. And we can share all together. And, you know, that's very, I always love that. I always love this type of mentality, very open-minded, you know.
And especially if you're having like this kind of colliding of worlds inside of like your childhood, and you're exposed to all these different, like, you know, cultures and mentalities, I feel like it was bound to happen for your music too. Like, you weren't bound to only be big in Paris. Like, you wanted to, you know, express that version of you that had all these pieces of like the world inside of you. And, you know, you get these different experiences, and I'm sure you had like tremendous fun, tremendous time in Paris. And like the scene now is probably completely different, like in London, right? Like, can you just talk about the differences between like the music scenes, and how's that been for you?
Yeah, it's very different. So in Paris, you have very, very good musicians, but the mentality and the culture is so different. Here in London, what I love is, of course, there's a lot of jazz music, or, you know, but the thing is, where I'm going to some jam, is not just about jazz music. You know, there's hip hop, soul, R&B, and, you know, everybody mix the style, and there's no judgment. And that's what I love in London. People are not judgmental at all. Like, you can wear whatever you want, you can be whatever you want, and you can like sing whatever you want in whatever language you want, and whatever kind of music. And people are very, very like open-minded about that. Compared to Paris, it's like more, people are more judgmental in Paris. And the music culture is not that open-minded, you know. But I mean, for example, jazz music in Paris is just jazz music in Paris, you know, it's just jazz music. Or, you know, or whatever type of music. It's just like, you know,
there's no blend.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, and I think, yeah, that's why I love to be in London, because it's more fitting to who I am, you know, my mentality and my music.
Hey, so speaking of your music, what's gonna happen with Tallulah in 2022? What are your plans and aspirations for this year?
So now I've been very, very creative, you know, because in London you're like, the music is crazy, so you want to like, you know, I think you're inspiring every day, you know, you can get inspired every day. And so I create a lot. I do a lot of studio sessions. I meet a lot of very, very talented people, doing some sessions together. And yeah, I think I'm gonna release some new songs in 2022, and maybe doing some gigs, things like that. So yeah.
Where can people find you at online?
So basically everywhere. Instagram. I have TikTok too. That's fun. I never think that I'm gonna create an account there, but that's funny. Yeah, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, everywhere actually. Tallulah.music, in Instagram, Tallulah_music on TikTok. Yeah, Twitter is Tallulah_music. YouTube, I have a channel, and it's just Tallulah, I think. But yeah, you can find me. You can see a quick fix of the music video, and I answer to all the comments. So if people want to comment, I answer everybody.
Oh, that's what's up. That's how you build community. So, you know, if you want to reach out to a really dope artist, a real dope international artist at this point, you know, follow her on all the socials.
Yeah, thank you.
And if you're tired of listening to the same old music and you want to spark your life up with some great, unique music, go check out Tallulah, because that music, like Jason said, when you wake up in the morning, you're going to feel light. You're going to feel like you're going to have the best day ever. So definitely.
It's going to wake your soul up. You feel me? Wake you up and your soul up.
Thank you, guys. Hi, it's Tallulah. You listen to Love of It podcast.